This is the Philosophical Angle, defining concepts in current media. I am your host, Chris Angle. This week, the subject concept of usage is quantitative easing, as originated by the Federal Reserve Bank and now prevalent in the media. Well, let's get rolling. Just what is quantitative easing? Our first response is that this term is vague and seemingly impossible to readily understand upon first sight. It is not until the media uses it considerably enough in various circumstances that we begin to get a feel for its meaning. Initially, we understand that its purpose is to refer to a monetary policy of the Federal Reserve Bank. But nowhere is there an actual explanation of what it is. And it is seemingly impossible for the general public and we mortals to know what is the essence of this phrase. That is, to what does this monetary policy known as quantitative easing that these great ones of the Federal Reserve refer? Well, as we might guess from the individual words, this quantitative easing suggests increasing the amount of money in the total amount of U.S. dollars existent in our dollar-denominated economy. That is, quantitative easing, specifically, in its ultimate essence, is the policy of increasing the supply, that is, the quantity of the number of U.S. dollars in circulation. So how, you ask? How are they doing this? In order to explain, we must take a step back and talk about the actions of the U.S. Treasury. Because the government cannot balance its budget and is spending much more than it receives in tax revenue, the U.S. Treasury first sells Treasury bonds, known as Treasury bills and notes, into the bond market. Investors looking to get a return on their cash call up their bond broker and buy one or more of these U.S. Treasury bonds. By the way, a bond is a promissory note by any business or government entity, in this case the U.S. Treasury. This promissory note will say that if you, the investor with cash, will give me, in this case the Treasury, let's say $1,000, I, the Treasury, will give you, the investor, a promissory note that will say that for this $1,000, you will get back $1,000 plus interest. It is the same as going to your local bank and taking out, okay, good enough. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, like in conclusion.
Okay. Okay, and in conclusion, if let's hear from out there in TV land your thoughts, and in the meantime, let's ask our distinguished panel if they think quantitative easing was or is a good thing or bad thing for the U.S. economy and to the American society. And having heard them speak, we conclude that it's not so good. So that's our show today. And we thank you for listening and viewing in, and we'll see you next week.